Hello, I'm David Kramer with Alaska Weather. Thanks for joining for today's weather forecast. Starting off, we'll take a look at a couple advisories that we have out. Both of thee are flood advisories. One is for the Chilkat River near the Haines Highway. That is out until 4 p.m. on Friday. And we also have a flood advisory out for the Matanuska River near the Old Glen Highway, and that is through noon on Friday. Looking out at our fire danger for the state, the majority of the state is in low for the spruce adjective, but as we get down into south central, we will see a couple areas of high and a couple areas of high down in southwest Alaska as well. Moving forward, take a look at our satellite imagery. What we're really going to focus on here at first is up to the north, especially in the Brooks Range. We're going to start to see a lot of thunderstorms forming, bringing a lot of lightning strikes to the area there. And then farther down south, we could see a lot of moisture coming in off the Gulf waters, bringing in some rain to areas around the Kenai Peninsula and elsewhere around south central Alaska. Looking at our forecast for tonight, we can see a low that's down by Kodiak Island, bringing in a lot of that moisture to the southern areas of mainland Alaska, as well as down in the Panhandle area where the front is extending into the northeastern portions of the Gulf of Alaska, bringing a lot of rain to the Panhandle. Up to the north, you can see some troughing up by the Brooks Range, helping to aid in that thunderstorm development out there. And then far out to the west, we have high pressure building in over the western Aleutian Islands. As we move into Friday, we will see that high pressure moving slowly off to the east, keeping a lot of fair weather conditions out for the Bering Sea and Aleutian Islands. We will have some shower activity out for the western portions of the mainland, as well as continued thunderstorm potential out by the Brooks Range. Down in south central Alaska, our low that was by Kodiak is staying relatively stationary, bringing more moisture to the coastline of south central as well as down into the Panhandle. Then as we move into Saturday, we're going to see continued rain for the Panhandle area. Low pressure just continuing to spin out in the central and western portions of the Gulf. More moisture coming in off the water there for more rainfall for the Panhandle. More rain spreading in farther into south central as we have this weaker trough pushing through the south central area. We're going to start to see more rain up in the Alaska Range and out over southwest Alaska as well. Low pressure out over the Brooks Range up to the north, going to continue to see rain showers up there. As we look farther out to the west, we'll see high pressure slowly moving out to the east now over the central Aleutian Islands, but that's allowing for a system to come in from the west, bringing rain back to the western Aleutians. Then as we move into Sunday, high pressure is really weakened and pushed off to the south. So now we're seeing the low that was out west pushing well into the Bering Sea, starting to bring rain into the western portions of mainland Alaska, as well as out through the Bering Sea and Aleutian Islands. Up to the north and mainland, we have low pressure out over the Brooks Range remaining, continuing to bring some shower activity up there. And the low pressure still lingering out over the Gulf waters, bringing more rain to south central coastlines, as well as down into the Panhandle. Taking a look at our temperatures, starting off in southeast, we have lows dropping down to around 50 degrees tonight. Much of south central as well, some places getting down into the mid 40s. Up in the interior, primarily dropping down to 50 degrees and then the 30s up along the Arctic coast. Down by the Aleutians, temperature is going to get a little bit colder there, dropping down to the 40s. And as we get into Friday afternoon, bouncing back up towards 50 degrees for the Aleutian Islands. West coast getting up towards 60 degrees. In the interior, getting a little bit warmer, 70 degrees. And then out in the Yukon Flats area, warmest in the state, expected to get up to 74 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Up along the Arctic coastline, temperatures getting up into the 40s for the most part. Utqiagvik staying a little bit colder there, around 39 degrees expected. Into the 60s for south central Alaska and near 60 degrees for the Panhandle. Saturday morning dropping back down to near 50 for the Panhandle, as well as most locations around south central Alaska. In the interior, dropping down to 50 degrees as well. Yukon Flats staying a little bit warmer, dropping down only to 57 degrees. Down into the 30s along the Arctic coast. And then down into the mid 40s along the west coast, near 40 degrees for the Aleutians. Saturday afternoon highs getting back up into the 40s to near 50 for the Aleutians, near 50 degrees for much of the west coast of the state, up to near 50 for the Arctic coast as well. In the interior, even warmer on Saturday than we saw on Friday, getting up to as high as 78 degrees in the Yukon Flats. In the mid 60s for south central Alaska, and near 60 degrees for the Panhandle. For Alaska Weather, I'm David Kramer. Thanks for watching.